Hello, and welcome to 60 Second Gamer. This is a first for us. We're recording this podcast the eve before the video is going up on the website, which is...
If you could see the look on my face,
it's
a
aghast.
mild shock.
Yeah, and horror, I think.
Well,
maybe a bit of horror?
I don't know. It was sort of like...
Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone.
Put the aftershave on his face, yes.
Great Scott! Actually, yeah, Doc Brown.
Doc Brown.
There we go.
No, it's not quite that exuberant. That's more...
Oh yeah, that's very
Completely
exuberant.
over,
You're mild
A mild
surprise.
Doc Brown.
Yeah.
A mild case of the inhalations.
Yes. So this is the only reason we're getting this review up now as well is because I'm on PlayStation Plus, and we had exclusive access one week.
Those of us who are privileged.
Yep. Me and Ant are PS Pluses.
Yes, I haven't got
That's
the money.
one word for us.
I'm just on Xbox Live because I can only afford one subscription of £40 a year.
Saying that, I think they've changed the name now to Sony Entertainment Network because it signed me out last night and it said SNE. I was like, or SAE.
Well, it doesn't matter. Whatever. It's
what the fuck is this?
it's the PlayStation Network.
Yeah. What's this? Mad flag waving in the
Like a
background.
It's
Is
like
it wild, wacky, inflatable, unflailing tube man?
it looks a bit like that, yeah, but it isn't. It's carpet.
Oh, that's a little bit boring.
It usually is carpet anyway. But yeah, the game is Journey for the PS3. It's a PlayStation exclusive from That Game Company, and as I was saying,
that's a big mound.
it's a big mound. It's got a cleft.
Oh right,
Look,
Twix.
that's where the sun's coming through. It's a cleft in the top of the
Oh,
mountain.
it's not just a clever.
No,
thing.
it's the
Lighting,
sun shining through a cleft in the hill mountain. So yes, it's Journey PS3 released by That Game Company. PS Plus got it last week, which was where are we now? We're on the 13th. So it was released on the 7th of March for PS Plus, and it's out today, March 14th for everyone else. So it's available for $9.99 on the network, which in itself you may think that's a bit pricey.
That Limbo was similarly priced, but
and that is fantastic. I bought that on sale, and I'd have gladly paid more for that.
I bought it when it was full price on Xbox Live, and I was like, you know what? I'm not ashamed that I've bought this for.
Buy it, have it.
It's just awesome.
So I read a review of this on the Sixth Axis, which is my go-to source for video game newsage. And they gave it a perfect 10, and I'm inclined to agree with them.
Have you got the box for Paddington anywhere? I can't remember how many missions.
Spoilers.
No?
That's one of our upcoming reviews,
Yes,
actually.
I'm not that I'm writing it while we're podcasting.
No.
How many
Who'd
missions?
do that? It's very unprofessional.
Yeah. I noticed you haven't started yet.
No, I don't know what I've written for.
Oh, there's a dog barking.
I
Fantastic.
don't know what I've written for Black. So
No, it's... well, I mean,
nestled under Anthony's.
here's your
scrawlings.
list. Here's your list there. There's 4 at the bottom there. So you've got FIFA
Oh, sorry,
Black.
he's handing me this one.
There we go.
The tearing has gone wrong.
As
There
it
we
often
go.
does. There we go. Right,
I
so...
thought she'd gone, you're handsome.
Hopefully not her boobs, because you've done that in the previous one.
Yeah.
No.
Or have you?
Or is it that one? I can't remember. But yeah, it's released by That Game Company. It's out now, and it's very much in the same style as Flow and Flower, in that it's very sort of basic control system. It's very much sort of
Apologies, my feet stink.
stick your foot in his face.
I'm used to my slippers, and they smell like death. So.
And yeah, it's quite a linear game, but it doesn't feel too linear.
It gives the impression of an open world.
But it really isn't. If you go too far out of the boundaries, then you end up hitting like an invisible wall. And it's not so much an invisible wall, but it's actually more like the wind picks up and you can't walk into it.
Got you.
So it's it funnels you around the place. But there is a scope for a bit of investigation. And the actual gameplay itself, you are a nameless character. I'm sure the character may have a name, but for the purposes of this review, I'm just going to call them Spindly.
It looks like a Jawa.
Yeah, it's like a thin.
It strikes me as a woman.
It's an athletic Jawa.
I think it's probably meant to be androgynous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No specific gender or species.
No.
But upright with 2 legs and no feet.
Or no arms.
Apparently, you can tell the flower influences straight away from the fact that you basically you walk through some floating cloth pieces, and they give you an energy burst, and it fills up your scarf with energy, and you press the X button to jump into the air and fly forward a little bit until your energy runs out. Now with the scarf itself, it is very much, as I've said in the video review, it's very much a Tom Baker scarf in that you you pick up like golden glowing orbs, and as you pick these orbs up, it expands the length of your scarf, and a bit like Tom Baker's 70s Doctor Who scarf, it sort of expanded every series, kept adding to it, and it gives you more energy to stay up in the air for longer.
What a member enlargement.
Yes, so to speak. It is get large quick.
I don't mean to change the subject, sorry. Yeah. At what point were there any other characters in this game? Because it says it features Mrs. Bird and Mr. Grubber. I don't recall seeing them anywhere.
They're in the bit where you play the paedophile bear and have to take pictures.
Ah, yes.
Of course.
This is Paddington,
yes.
Ant's talking about as well.
Sorry, yeah.
Again, for a later podcast.
Yes, carry on.
So, yeah, you in Flower, you basically work through, you start off in the desert. Flower Journey. I'm getting confused now with my That Game Company games. You start off in the desert, you've got to... There's this a massive mountain in the distance, and your goal is to get there. And that's basically it. Enemies, there aren't really any enemies, to be honest. It's quite a simple, gentle gameplay, and I don't want to go too much into it because I'll spoil it, and I don't really want to spoil it because it deserves to be played and explored. I actually, when I was capturing the footage for this, finished the game in 1 hour and 40 minutes. And play through start to finish. Initially I wasn't going to do that, and I'll come on to this in a bit, but with the multiplayer side of it, but I was joined by another player and I just felt compelled to play through to the very end. It's one of those games. So yeah, there's it's quite I don't know, influenced.
Genteel?
Yeah.
No, okay, sorry, influenced.
It's influenced very heavily by like the Middle East, that sort of thing, that sort of design aesthetic.
I know it's pretty obvious to say, but the comparisons immediately strike me as Uncharted 3.
Yeah.
When you're going into the
this first bit especially, and you can probably see this is me coming up to the edge of the level, and you can see the wind building up, and it's preventing me from carrying on any further. Now this bit that we're watching on the footage is a selection of the level select, essentially, which I didn't realise it was. I thought this was just like, oh, it's like an extra portal, that's fine. And then I entered it, and I ended up at the end of the game.
Oh.
I was like, oh, okay. So I went back to the level select hub and carried on. Now, I'll let it go on a bit, and then I'll play some of the music, 'cause that's another fantastic element of this game, is that the music is just absolutely spot on. As emotive journeys go, you can't get any finer than this game. It's the music and the gameplay and the visuals, they all sort of like meld together and form just this thing that works, and I can't fault it in any respect, which is quite a rare occurrence for me. And a lot of the time as well, I mean, I'm one of these people that will buy lots and lots of cheap games, as you well know, and I bought this at full, I very rarely buy it at full price. I wait for the price to come down, but this one, I read a review of it, and I thought, well, £10, I'll give it a pop.
Yeah. And
I've played it through twice, and I've got 4 hours worth of entertainment out of it, pretty much. And it's I've got a trophy there. Hey. And it's just one of those games that you can just keep going back to again and again and again. Now, general gameplay mechanics, it's like a third-person game. Obviously, if you have a look at the video review, check it out, and you'll see where it's coming from there. It looks very nice, graphically as well. It's not massively complicated. The game will point you in the right direction. It won't let you stray too far from the path. It's got good visual markers, good visual representation. Let's go into gameplay mechanics, I suppose, again. Go back to that. There are a number of ways of getting around. You pick up the energy boosts, and that gives you or the energy symbols, and that gives you energy boosts, so you can use it to flutter up into the air and access previously inaccessible areas, that sort of thing. You can also press the circle button to play like musical chimes. It's basically the language of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if there's any music on this bit. That's one of the musical chimes. That's an energy pickup. So that's going to extend my scarf. That's a dog. But yeah,
Lovely.
so it's quite
Very
atmospheric
atmospheric.
and very nice and very orchestral. And the dog will keep barking until someone realises until she realises that there's no one actually there. So the musical chimes. There's no actual dialogue in the game. It's all silent. It's all the story's told through murals, brief instances where you talk with giant spindly white things, which look just like you, but they're big and white.
Uh-huh.
And they tell like the backstory there. You can use the musical chime. You can press and hold it, and it will let off a massive chime, and you can pull in the carpet pieces and the bits of cloth to fill your energy bar, and that's another use for it. And it's really as simple as that. You can use the PS3 controller and the 6-axis to move the camera around, which I've done on occasion by accident, and it's not my preferred choice of playing the game, to be honest. But you can also move the camera around using the right analog stick, so either way is fine. Obviously move around using the left analog stick, and nice and simple as that. Now the multiplayer side of it, which I think is really, really good as well. You can only have 2 players at one time. And you can't communicate with them at all, so it's not like you go on COD, you can't do the voice chat or anything. You go into the game.
Sorry, I was trying to do that as quick as I could. I've been too
That's
long.
fine. I'll let you off. And it's one of those things where you just walking through the game. It's completely deserted. No pun intended. And then all of a sudden you just see this other person there, and you're both in the same game, and you can cooperate and show each other where like the pickups are, where the bonuses are, where the hidden things are, and everything, which is really, really clever. But at the same time, you can only communicate using the chimes and general sort of posturing, and that's basically it. But it's really quite relaxed. It's really quite nice. And the game I played yesterday when I captured this, I was playing along, and then this one player just came in, and we spent an hour playing the game through just all in one go. Just the pair of us, and got a trophy for it as well, because if you complete most of the story with another player and you see it through to the end, you get a trophy, which is the one of the reasons why I carried on playing it as well. I just couldn't help myself, and I just carried on, and we sort of helped each other out and pointed out where all the puzzles were and everything. It was really, really good. As multiplayer experiences go, I don't think you'll find anything quite as entertaining and endearing as this one. The gameplay itself as well, it's a basic sort of puzzle platformer type affair, but again it's not going to be something that takes too much thought. The game will point you in the right direction for the most part. Again, this bit I can see all those bridges over there in the distance, and I'm trying to get over there, and then the wind picks up and stops me from going to the edge of the level. So it's deceptively linear, but I won't hold that against it in any respect, because if there's more to explore on it, then it just wouldn't work. I don't think it's one of those games that it's about the length of a film. I mean, you pay £15 to buy a film, hour and a half, 2 hours gameplay, depending on how much effort you put into it, how much exploring you do around the levels and all that, and it's probably about the right length. In that respect, it's just enough to play through in one sitting and not get bored of it, but not so much that you're trying to get like hours and hours worth of story out of it, but at the same time you do come back to it, and I'm probably going to go back and play it again at some point. It is that good. So I'll just run through some of the other bits and bobs. So it's I've already said it's exclusive on the PS3. you are journeying to the mountain. As I say, I don't want to give away too much about the rest of the story because that would spoil it. But suffice to say, it's sort of broken up into 3 acts, and there's 3 sort of distinct level designs available in the game. The desert is just one of those 3 designs, and then you've got sort of an underground sort of area, which I don't want to go into too much detail on, and then the bit where you actually approach the mountain itself. But all of them are all really nicely done, and they all have their own sort of gameplay mechanics, which are very good. So let's see what else I've got. There's no map, no instructions, and basically you're just heading towards the mountain in all instances. So players cannot speak to each other but can help each other in their journey or not as they wish. This is all coming from the Wikipedia article. And obviously no Don't Stop Believing or Glee gags in this instance, because they will not be appreciated. Dead leg ant.
Very much so. What's that? Oh, shit.
Easy,
no.
tiger.
Oh, nearly lost my teeth twice then.
So it's not very good. So yeah, apparently, I mean, I didn't really know much about this before. You're just destroying the place now. Aren't you?
I'm descended into chaos.
Yeah, I didn't know much about the game before reading the review about it, so I'm a bit. I know.
I really knew was that you just
go to the mountain,
ran towards a mountain.
Yeah.
That was it.
There's more to it than that.
Yeah.
There's more sort of story, and it's worth exploring. But I've said that like 5 times now, so I'll stop saying it. But yeah,
it's like me in the Shadow of the Colossus podcast.
Apparently, development began in 2009 after they released Flower. Now, I've played both Flow and Flower, and I've thoroughly enjoyed both of them. And I think this is like a natural evolution of both of those games, because Flow was quite basic. It was a 2D. I don't know.
Wasn't it sort of like one of the?
It's like amoeba.
Almost like a tech demo.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes,
really good. And I've got Flow for the PSP as well, because they released it for that, and essentially the same game, but there we go. So yeah, Flow was really good. Flower, again, as games go, it's one of those sort of nice, easygoing games that you don't have to sort of put too much thought into, but you know, you can just play through it, and there you go, and you're at the end. I think that's one of the design aesthetics that they've used with this game as well. Not too much, not too little, just enough. It's a bit like the 3 bears and their porridge.
Yes.
So yeah, development 2009, and let's see if there's anything of actual interest. Apparently the basic idea is to move beyond the typical defeat, kill, win mentality, which is prevalent in today's gaming age.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to say, a lot of the best games I've played recently are all the ones that are like from indie developers, or like the like this. You've got Limbo on Xbox, that sort of, and on PC now as well. Those sort of games. They're the ones that innovate a bit more, because they've got less money to work with. And Call of Duty, I mean, we take a look at Call of Duty, that hasn't changed in 5 years
Easily.
Something like that. I mean, okay, I'll still play them, but at the same time I'll probably get more enjoyment out of something like this. So the reviews for this have been really good, and mine's no different. Averages 92 on Metacritic based on 30 reviews. And apparently official PlayStation magazine said, one of the few games you'll genuinely reflect on after completion, and an object lesson in how less can be more when it comes to crafting narrative and eliciting investment. And yeah, can't really say it any better myself. That's pretty much how I
That's why
feel.
they're professional, and we're still very much, we
not
do it for fun.
Yeah. So I mean, Edge gave it 8 out of 10. IGN, Eurogamer, and GameSpot gave it 9, and I know the Sixth Axis gave it a full-on 10. And they didn't give it any cons, because normally, even if it's a perfect 10, they do say there's something niggling and wrong with it. And this is one of their first reviews, I think, that said there was no faults. Yeah. So, yeah, anything you guys want to add?
I've never played it, so.
No, it looks good. I will get it at some point. Just...
Yeah, I mean, there's still stuff that I've not found on it, and I've played it through twice. I mean, there's murals that you find throughout the game, and I think there's 10 altogether, and I found, I think, 8. So still a couple of those I need to track down. And I've still got about just over half the trophies left to pick up as well. So that's another one to look into. But I was playing through it yesterday, and there's this one character. He was just stood there, and he was gold, perfectly gold,
Oh right.
or perfectly white. And I was like, well, how did you do that? Because you've played through to the same point. Because hopefully this isn't too much of a spoiler, but when you go back to the beginning of the game, and when you come back to play again, you don't start with all your perks that you've built up. You basically reset square one, and you do it all again. So it's I really don't know how they did the gold suit, and I don't really get it. So, the only thing I can think of is that they level skipped back after getting all the orbs, perhaps. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah.
Or the murals or something, I don't know. But either way, they were perfectly gold instead of the red with gold trim of the main character. And all the people you meet on your journey as well, they look exactly like you as well. So it's pretty much the same. So I'll probably wrap it up there. If you have a PlayStation and you have 10 quid to spare, I mean, there's no guarantee on that, but I very, very heartily recommend picking this up just for a couple of hours gameplay. If you're someone who slavishly plays Call of Duty and you won't play anything else, then obviously this one's not for you.
No.
But then you probably don't listen to our podcasts.
And you're probably about 6.
Yeah. More than likely. So 3 games to recommend. Flow and Flower from the same company, and play them in that order as well, because then you get the natural progression of their style.
Limbo?
Oh, I don't know. I was going to suggest Child of Eden.
Yeah, go for that one. I've not played it, but I've seen clips. I'll probably go for that.
I've heard of it. That's about it.
It's
Yeah,
on Xbox.
yeah, and PlayStation now.
Oh right.
It's Move compatible.
Oh yeah. Apparently their move was a fail.
Yeah,
according to Sony.
it's they didn't develop it, but that's a discussion for another time. And
Yep.
this is
You've
me
got a
with
player.
another player here, and let's put some more music on. Great big bits of red cloth. It's a great big bridge.
Cheering.
Yeah. So we'll go Flow, Flower, and Child of Eden. So that'll do nicely. Right, thank you for listening. If you want to get in touch, you can drop us an email at info@randomstoke.com. You can visit the website randomstoke.com, where you'll have links to our YouTube channel, WordPress blog, Twitter, other videos and audio projects that we're doing, and Ant's music, which will be available soonish on the music page, which is currently not available. But it will be. It will be very soon. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.